Hi guys, it's Belle here, and I wanted to just come on and do a fun little quick make, or I hope it's going to be a fun little quick make. So on one of my tags, I added this altered paperclip decoration. I think it might have had a bead and that on it too, but I just did this. And these were sent to me by Serene Bookworks, Kim at Serene Bookworks. I'll link her down below. And I have some paper clips that I've used alcohol inks on. Hope you can see that. I've just got 3. We're just going to make some, and that's what I want to do today, guys. I just want a little fun, break it up from the tags and the October dailies. I am going to use some walnut stain distress oxide. I've got some of this 1928 vintage, I think it might be Latin. These are scraps left over from me doing my vampire journal. So they're just sitting there, and in fact almost all of these little bits, not all of them actually, but a lot of these are kind of scraps or easy to get your hands on. And they're not even going to be that overtly decorated. I just want to kind of do what Kim did, and do like, what's the word? Have a main picture and the paperclip itself decorated. So obviously you can add beads, you can add all sorts to these, which I have done some before, I think. I don't know if I've done any. I know I did a Christmas one, I think, on camera. So I will link that video. These can be as detailed or not as detailed as you like. I just want to use up some scraps, do some stamping, give my brain a bit of a break from the other projects that I'm doing, because it's just good to sometimes do something a little bit different. Okay, we've got another scrap of that book page here. It's vintage. I don't want to waste it. And we're going to use that on here. So I'm going to do the same for all of them. I'm going to have this as my base. You can change it up. I don't know yet. Kim also put some. You can see that she's used a book page on hers too. So, but you don't have to use book page. You can use digital. You can use thin crafting paper, scrapbook paper. You don't have to use vintage book page. There's a whole load of things you can use, guys. I just happen to have this, so this is what I'm using. I feel like this isn't wide enough, but we're going to go with the scrap that we've got. And then I'm going to use this one too. A lot of it's going to be covered up anyway with fabrics, so it's not a big problem. Let's do it here. So you just want to use a glue that you know is going to stick. You can see I'm not putting the paper clip right to the edge. I'm just putting a little bit on the glue, but I want some of that paper to fold over, so it already gives me a base. And then I'm just rolling. You can put glue all along here now. You don't have to. I know not everyone does, but just to make sure that paper is stuck in place. And try and get it so that the end of the paper really folds over onto the other bit. You don't want it on the edge. I mean, does it matter massively? Maybe not, but I just prefer it not to be. I have some of this beautiful vellum left over from my last project too. So I'm thinking I might add a little smidge of vellum. Now, my glue dries clear. If yours doesn't, this may not be something for you to do, but mine does dry clear, so I don't mind using the vellum on there. And again, it just gives a little bit of something extra. That didn't go all the way to the edge. That's fine. We're going to put fabric around it. So we've now got that. Let's add a little strip to this as well. There's not a lot of need for this one because it goes all the way to the bottom, but we're going to do it anyway. It may all get covered up, but that's okay. It's a scrap of vellum and I would have used it, and that's what I will be happiest about. If we see some of the sparkle, then yay to that too. But if we don't, it's okay. Now I could have inked around the vellum as well, but I didn't. Where are my scissors? I think I put them away. I'm just going to rip that because it was going over to the edge. All right, we're not going to add any to that. We could, we're not going to. All right, whilst they are kind of drying, the next thing I want to do is some stamping. So you can see here that Kim's kind of doubled up the paper. She's got more of a manila, I think, file folder. I don't know if it is, but it gives me that vibe. And then she's kind of done, well, this isn't a stamped image. I think it's actually a digital, or from a book page, actually, it might be, that she's then put on top. So we are going to kind of replicate that. Now I've got 3 paper clips, so I really want to think about what I want to do. I might add a spider onto one. I mean, why not? We're doing Halloween-y, yeah? So let's do that. Or at least spooky season. Spooky season. So this is where I've cut some, again, some scrap paper that I cut some of the smaller tags out of for, that we're going to use on here. Yeah, I like it. So that's what we're doing there. Let's just get that off on there. So we've got that one. I really like flowers, so we can say that's not particularly spooky, which is true, but I think of magic spells and things when I'm thinking of it. So we're going to add a flower just because that's what I like. So I'm trying to see which one might have more. Okay, like that. And then we're going to add a bug of some kind. So let's add a creepy crawly bugly. Creepy crawly bugly. Right, this just does not want to come out. Behave, bug. So there we go on there. And let's add the bug here. I love just stamping, guys. If you have scrap papers and an evening, put something on in the background and just literally stamp out loads of images. I already have some stamped in places, but I wanted to specifically do these. Okay, we are going to rip these now. We are actually going to do a little bit more stamping. And I feel like this is, a craft that anyone can do with whatever you've got at home. Most of us have stamps. If you don't have stamps, it's easy enough to find digitals. If you don't have digitals, you may have books that have images in. So there are so many different ways that you can do this. Most of us have paper clips, or if not, they're super easy to get hold of. And most of us have scraps of book, magazines, or anything like that. So these are really versatile to make with whatever you have personally in your craft stash. Whereas I feel sometimes, especially like I love to use a lot of Tim Holtz stuff, and I know for us British crafters it's not easy getting a lot of Tim Holtz stuff, and also it's quite expensive. So I wanted to make something that I'm not going to lie to you, I am going to use a bit of Tim Holtz on here, but it's only because I've got them literally, I grabbed whatever was sitting on my table to do these with. So, but again, I'll give you ways that you can do something other than Tim Holtz. I'm going to go over this in black soot. You will have seen me do this sometimes. I like to double ink. I like to use the brown because it warms underneath, and then I like to put the black on top. It almost gives the paper, if you look there, it almost gives it a burnt look, which I like. So, all right, so we've got our images. These two are going to go on the bigger paper clip. This is going to go on the smaller paper clip. Now, I do have some digital. You would have seen me use this in a craft that I was doing. So you would have seen me use this. It's a scrap left over. I want to use it up. You don't have to, guys. If you've got scrapbook paper, you know, if you've got some scrapbook paper, use some scrapbook paper. I might do that too, just so that you can see. So you can use some scrap of that. You can use some normal paper. But I wanted to use this because I have it sitting here on my desk. And to me, I just want to use up what's lying around. And the good thing about this is it's double-sided. Now, you can see on Kim's, as I said, she's just done the more manila on blank, which you can do. I decided I wanted this little bit of pop of colour in the background. Just a little bit. And as I said, it uses up the scraps. So it's all good. I am going to glue this down. Now, Kim just glued hers. I'm thinking I may want to stitch around mine. Again, you don't have to. I'm just wondering if I want to, because it kind of adds an extra grungy element for me. But honestly, guys, you really don't have to. You could do faux stitching. You could do hand stitching if you wanted to add some. But you don't have to do any of that. You can just glue it, just like Kim did. I'm just wondering for me, because I like... This is going to be a very big one, big paper clip. I just like the effect of stitching. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually going to glue this down first, then have a look and rip it around. That might actually be easier. Let's see which side I want. Which side's going to be on the back. I like that on the back. And move this over. I've got to remember, I've got to rip that edge. So, yeah. So I'm going to try and rip it the same way that the actual top bit is ripped, sort of with the tears like at the angle and everything. Doesn't have to be exact, honestly. It's a grungy altered paper clip. We do what we can. And these are great to use in journals. I know I use them. You saw me use one on a tag, so they're great to use on ephemera. Does that one need inking? It's got white around the back. I actually don't mind. I normally hate white, but I don't mind too much of that. That's okay. Okay, and let's use the last piece. Have we got a piece big enough for this spider? Oh, only just do we have a piece big enough for this spider. That's okay. I can rip a little bit more of the spider here. So have a look. I normally don't have a lot of stuff on my desk. I do have one tiny tray that I keep bits in. But I normally don't have a lot, only because I really don't, I struggle with mess on my craft desk. It stresses me out. But as I've been working on a journal, and I'm working on my October daily journal, and I'm working on the tags for the Oddtober 24, because of all that, I have quite a lot lying around me at the moment. And I just feel like I need to use some of it up. And my brain needed a bit of a 5-second rest before carrying on with what I was doing. Now again, I don't actually mind the white on there. Normally I'd hate it, but I don't mind it. It's still grunged over anyway. Okay, now Kim's one actually had a word on it. Now that's more difficult because of because I think hers already had the word on it, but mine doesn't. So what I'm thinking is I'll just again grab my stamps. This is where rub-ons would be a great. This is the Tim Holtz. What is this one? The Tim Holtz Field Notes CMS 396. That's also where I got that from. These are from just a random tag thing that I don't actually know what it was. It was just a random one and I've had it ages. Right, I'm going to use the fig 2 on here that I want with the flowers, I think. Yeah, I like that. Let's get that off and put this back on. And then I feel like on this one, I just want a number, I think. This long number might work. Now, I would have liked to get the rub-ons out because I love using rub-ons on these kind of things. But again, I'm trying to show you that literally you can just have a stamp set and you can do some fun bits and bobs with a stamp set. Now, I think for the spider, what I want to do is just kind of have it as the first one. Let's see if that works. Yeah, there we go. Brilliant. Brilliant. Remember, you don't have to use all of a stamp. I know that seems obvious to say, but I also know, especially when you're new to crafting, that sometimes you can think, oh no, I need to, like, how I haven't got that exact and all that. It's all good. Right, I also have some of these little tags because Kim did a super teeny tiny little tag that she wrote toxic on. So I just actually die cut some tags rather than anything else. Also, you could add a label and make the label the tag. I might actually do that for that one because I kind of like that effect actually. Let's change it up on them. Let's do a little tag for this one, and then let's do a longer tag for that one. Do I like the round one? We haven't got a round one. Let's do a round one. Do I want a round one with a spider? No, I don't. Okay, that's what we're going to do, and we are going to now do some stamping on those too. And I have the clear stamp set. I'm loving using this. It's the Witch's Brew at the moment. It is CEC 1110, and I'm just loving using it at the moment. So that's what I want to do, and I want to use the word herbs. I want to use that. Let's see which way it is. I just want that on there. Again, these are easy to get your basic, get the basic, sorry, I'm trying to put that on there. Get your basic, get your words out, Belle. That would help, wouldn't it? I'm not sure I like that. We're going to use it. Get them together like this, and then you can just then come on and add things for your specific project. I was thinking of potion, but I also wanted Book of Spells, I think, maybe on there. That would work well. Got Witch's Potion, but I think that's too big for that. But we've got Book of Spells. I wonder if Book of Spells would work on the spider. That would be pushing it. That would just about fit on there. Let's put that on there. It will just fit. I don't mind if some of it comes off. Let's make sure I really ink this one up. I don't think I did with the last one. There we go. Because it's a new stamp set and I haven't used everything. Haven't used all the stamps yet. Some of them need a bit of time for the ink to kind of work on them. Right, that did not come off the way I wanted it to. Thankfully, I have another one. Okay. I will do something else with that one. Let's do a print first. That's much better. Okay, let's do a print. Press that down. Okay, that's much better. That's going on the little spider because I like it. And we could put magic. Do we want magic on the bug? No, do you know what? Because we've got 2 of those. Why don't we put with the bug? Let's turn it over so I can actually see them. We could put a larger number on there. Or one of these. That's quite good. Let's put that. We have got the word specimen as well. No. This is where, again, I would like the rub-ons, but I don't want to use them. We're just going to use our stamps. I can always go back and add to the rub-ons if I want to at a later date. Okay, I just like that. Okay, we're going to move that over there. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go and stitch around the little images. And then we're going to add the fabric and put them all together, which, you know, will be fun. I'm wondering if I want to come on and just ink down these 2, just down the sides. You don't have to, but I kind of want to grunge it a bit more. So I'm going to come on and do that. Now, Kim did add some, I think it was texture or glitter to hers. I'm not going to do that, but let me go stitch around these. So again, you do not have to stitch around yours, but I just think it adds more of a grungy feel if you do. And then you've also got all these lovely long threads to work with, which I know you can't really see when it's flat on the table like this. Let me put it like this. And then you can see them. You can see that now. Look at those. That's a grungy. Okay, now I just pulled out a load of scraps of fabric because we're going to add some fabric around some of these as well. I really liked the one that Kim used was this beautiful kind of fluff. Again, let me show you. She used this beautiful kind of fluff. And you can see here the glitter effect I was talking about. I'm not going to do that. I think it's brilliant, but I'm just not going to do that. And here is some vintage. I don't even know if this tears. Oh, it tears beautifully. This is vintage tape measure, guys. So we're going to use some of that. I don't need lots of it, but I want some of it. Okay, so let's move these. We're working on these now. Let's get this done. Again, just add a little bit of fabric. You don't have to use vintage. I know I'm using vintage book paper and vintage tape measure, but I'm also using modern vellum and sari silk. So just use literally what you have. I cannot stress that enough. I know there's so many great things out there and we're all like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that. I'm the same. I look at lots of things people have and I think, oh, I wish I could have that or get my hands on that, but it's not always possible. So instead, just use, thought I had a little scrap of, yes I do. So this is some rust dyed eco fabric. Just use what you have and don't have a look at a project and think, okay, how can I have a go at that with the supplies that I have, you know? And then it becomes even more unique to you and your style, because our style comes from not just our crafting, but it comes from the things we use and how we're used to using things as well. So that's where that all comes from. Let's just use some different. See, I'm using different fabrics here. I'm just grabbing bits that I had again in my scrap box and thinking what will work, what could I use up, what will look okay. And you can add more fabric, you can have it wider, you can easily adapt these for any style. You know, they don't have to be grungy. You could do shabby chic or whatever the style is, steampunk, whatever it is that you like to do. These are so easily adaptable, and I just love having them in my ephemera. This is one of the things I do like, making several of them, just because I just think they look so good. Okay, wondering if I want a bit more of this, you know. I mean, I could have left it wider, but I didn't, so we did what we did. Now I want some of this. This is, again, some just scrunchy lace that I have. And I want to add some of this, I think. Maybe to this one. And we're starting to tie it round. It actually might even need to be thinner. And we're just going to tie it. We're just going to wrap it round and then tie it. So that's what we're going to do. Again, you can glue if you want. I don't feel a need to because I'm going to tie it, but you can then glue the little knot that you make. If you make a tie, you don't have to tie it. You could just wrap it just like we've done the other fabrics. I just happen to like the effect of having a little knot on there. Gives you. Or you could do the knot and then cut off the tails that are left from the fabric. Like, that is completely up to you. I may actually trim some of that off and then cut it a little bit. Not cut it, like fray it, because this should be frayable. Yeah, excellent. To just grunge it a little bit more. And you can see, we can barely now see any of that paper. But we know it's there. So that's what matters. I've got some grey seam binding as well. So let's see what that looks like. Kind of. I really wanted some of the lovely... I'm going to do this higher because I want to see some of that vintage... tape measure, because I think it's delicious. I can't even remember where I got it from, guys. I just brought a whole sort of, I think it was a yard or 2 yards of it or something like that. I don't know. And it just, yeah, just gives me that lovely kind of grungy feel that I like to work with. So we've got that, and again I'm going to trim and then I'm going to tear. Really pull at this one. Look at that. Can even be smaller actually, and we can still tear at it. So, and then we can have this one maybe longer. Keep this length. That'll work for me. Feel like it needs more tearing, but there we go. So we've got that one. And now for this one, I can't not use some sari silk, guys. I love my sari silk. So that's what I want to use. It's just my favourite thing. Oh, I'm already just loving just the black. I really am. Which is just silly because all it is black, but it kind of, it just feels right. I can't explain it. Oh, that ripped. That's the only problem with sari silk. It can be, let's take that off and restart it. It can be very fragile. So it can tear. So I should have known that. I think I got just so distracted by how yummy it looked that I kind of forgot that if I'm going to tear it, tie it that it needs to be done very carefully. Okay, let's try that again. Let's pull it, but not too hard. Okay, that's better. Let's double knot that one. Yummy. Did undo as well. Let's just cut that off. Okay. So that's that one. And I am wondering, I have some of this as well, which is some of the cheesecloth I've been using during the Oddbird challenge. I mean, you can't tear cheesecloth the way you can fabric and stuff. So I just need to cut it and work with it that way. Okay. I'm wondering about putting just a little bit down here. Oh, yes. The black and this grungy cheesecloth, which again, it's a bit of a nightmare to try and get it to... Right, that came off too soon, so let's do that again. One lot of wrapping. This is definitely where glue would come in handy, to just glue the cheesecloth into place. So let's just glue all around this knot to kind of keep it in place. Right, that'll dry clear. All right, scruffy, yummy. This one just doesn't look as scruffy now, does it? It really doesn't. So I'm going to add a little bit of the black on here too. And now we've covered up all that beautiful, delicious. Need to move it up. So I really want some of that showing. So let's move this up. There we go. And then I'm going to actually cut those off because, where am I? No, I might leave them. Right, let's just do another knot. Taking far too long on this. Okay. Right. We got those. Okay. Now, these already have holes in them. This one doesn't. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch punch on my crocodile, and also then I'm going to use the, what is it, 3/16 ones on here. And yes, some of them I'm going to have to go through the thread. That's okay. I can trim around that. That's all good. Right, good. Let's just pull that off. And then we're going to need, in the larger holes, I'm going to use some eyelets. Let's put the lid on my glue. That would help, wouldn't it? I'm going to use some eyelets, some grey, some maybe dark brown, maybe black. Or this deeper brown, where's that gone to? Hold on. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. And then let's just do this. Kim didn't add any to hers. She just punched a hole, which is maybe what we're going to leave with these. The smaller tags, we might just leave the hole with those. So that is those. Right, let's start getting them together. Flower, this one, and this. Got that. Herbs and Book of Spells. Right, I also pulled out some little metal charms. She didn't have any on hers, but we've got Destiny. I feel like I want Destiny on that one. Wicked we might have on the spider. I also have this. Now this is one of the chipboards that I don't use a lot. So I might have it at an angle. What I want to do is try and use one of the chipboards on here. Now, if you do not have the Tim Holtz metal embellishments or the chipboards or anything like that, don't worry about it. Or do we want like one of those on there? Yeah, let's put one of those. Don't worry about it. Use what you've got, guys. You could print out words on thick card. You could, you might have other word stickers somewhere. Just use what you've got. These are on my, do I want Destiny now or do I want Wicked on that one too? No, let's do 3 that look different. All right, now we need a large, again, if we look, Kim has attached these. She's got a bowl pin. That one's attached through the bowl pin and that one's on with a loop. So I want a large loop through my paper clips. I want those. So we're going to do that first. So I want that. And then Kim has attached like her words and things through as well. So let's do that. And then she's attached that with a bowl pin. And this is really chunky, so I need to try and get this through. Come on. She's attached the other thing with a bowl pin. But theoretically, you could attach it all with just on the loop. So that's going to look like that. And then on this one, I mean, it might be good to actually have, do you know what I want to do? I want to do something a bit different here. I want a smaller, the ones that I like, the size that I like, I don't really have many left of because I use them all the time, funny enough. So we're going to try with this super, super small one. And we're going to attach that already. And then that's going to go on here. So it's already on its own little one. And then we're going to have the Destiny on there too. Like so. And then we have this one that we're going to attach these with. What I might do, no, we're just going to attach them like this. Let's just do them like this. Let's not make it complicated. Like so. And then she attached the bowl pin, like a bowl pin. Now, if you don't have any, just use exactly the same thing. Just use the little circles. Words have gone. Just use those. But I do have a bowl pin. And to be honest, it might be idea to... Why did that come off? I'll tell you why that came off. Because that is not closed properly. You can attach these with bulb pins. You can attach them with these little metal bits. But I quite like the bulb pin. Let's use an antique one for this down here. I mean, I could put it up there, but no, we're going to put it down here. We're going to do exactly the same. Like so. Like it. And let's use another black one. Felt like almost using a deep green, but we're not going to. We're going to use a black one. For the flower too. like so. And these would attach onto your page. You can use one of these to attach it onto a piece of lace. You could use another ball pin to attach it. I mean, realistically, you can attach it any old way. You could attach it with another pin if you wanted, or another paper clip. Like, it is what it is. So there we have it, guys. We've got the 3. I was even wondering about attaching a bone. Like, you could literally stitch a bone onto one of these, which would look great, but I've already put the fabric around it. I'm wondering, hold on, we're only going to do one. Right, I've got some of the green thread, so I could use some of this. Okay, I just want to try this again. This is a Tim Holtz bone. Obviously, if you don't have them, that's okay, guys. I'm going to wrap it a little bit first. Like so. Nope, 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 no. I just saw it sitting on my table and I was like, okay, let's try that. If you don't have them, it's fine. You don't need it. But I don't know. I kind of wanted to add it now. So that's what I'm doing. It's a bit hard trying to do this with all the dangly bits already on it. Just twisting round and round. Tie that up. Tie it again to make sure it's not going anywhere. And a third time just to be triple sure. And then I might even leave the green hanging down, maybe not that much, but maybe a bit more. And because it's come off again, right, hold on. Okay, sorry, I just needed to really tighten that. And then I've pulled apart the different strands of the embroidery floss to just even make it look even more tatty. So here are, it's just threads everywhere. Here are the 3 that we have made, guys. Now again, this is the one I was inspired by. Also, she'd put some fabric on hers, some little fabric scraps, which also look really good. I haven't added fabric because I've used so much fabric on there. But again, a little bit of lace, if I've got any on the table. I do have like a little bit of lace just behind one of these. Would work great, but you don't need to. And here's the ones that we've made. And I just think they look super effective. You can see I was inspired by Kim. I did the basics that Kim did with the paper clip, the paper, the fabric, the stamped image and a word, or like she had a mini tag with a word on it. And I just kind of used what I had and had a go. And I think these look great. So yeah, guys, I hope you got a little bit of inspiration from that. Again, you can add fabric to the back. I've added a bone onto that one, which I think looks really good. You could splatter these, you could add beads, you could add charms, you can make them as detailed or as simplistic as you want. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back soon with another one. Please do go check out the links down below and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of spooky, crafty fun. Bye for now, guys.